Hi everybody. Coughlin666 recently did a video on a certain YouTube channel called Real Catholic TV.
Hello everyone and welcome to The Vortex, where lies and falsehoods are trapped and exposed. I'm Michael Vorse.
Yeah, well, we'll see about that. You know, I really hate dishonesty, I hate hypocrisy, and I'm not that crazy about politics to start with. But when you take dishonesty, hypocrisy, right-wing politics, mix it all together and call it religion, that really pisses me off. So here we have Mr. Real Friggin' Catholic bashing some other group of Catholics for having the nerve of trying to address the ills of our society. So while other people are working together to try to find a solution, this guy stands on the outside using standard right-wing talking points to bash their efforts. I'm sure he's very much into freedom of speech, being a true American and all that. Then again, he's disabled ratings on the video and only allows comments that he's approved. Let's see how that one works out. Let's take an example of one of the issues he brings up, abortion. Not surprisingly, he calls out the evil of abortion and identifies it solely with the Democrats, or as he so graciously calls them, the party of death. Really? Well, let's take a little trip through history to investigate that claim, shall we? Specifically, let's take a closer look at the infamous Supreme Court case Roe v. Wade. Here's the makeup of the court that made that ruling, Roe v. Wade. The first 7 justices on the list concurred with the ruling, and the last 2 dissented. So far, so good. Now, of those 7 evil justices who concurred with the ruling, what party do you think they represented? Any guesses? Well, let's take a look. So, 5 out of those 7 justices who made that ruling were Republican appointees. 1 Republican and 1 Democrat dissented. Now, what was that about the Democrats being the party of death? Of course, you might say that it would be better to discuss the issue with the channel owner, and indeed I did try, but it seems he blocked my comment making this very point. He's allowed other comments since and has discussed other issues since, so it's obvious he's seen the comment. So, Mr. Real Catholic, why the censorship? Of course, not everybody knows the details of Roe v. Wade, so it's possible we could chalk it up to simple ignorance. But let's take another comment that he did approve after mine was posted, and his reply to it. Here he makes another bogus claim about Roe v. Wade, that it allows abortion for any reason during all 9 months of the pregnancy. That's another falsehood. Actually, Roe v. Wade clearly states that it allows for government interest to take precedence after viability.
Where lies and falsehoods are trapped and exposed. I'm Michael Vorse.
So why the lies, Mr. Real Friggin' Catholic? In closing, I'd like to point out another fact that this guy will most likely ignore as well. In 1990, about 87% of American adults identified themselves as Christians. By 2008, that number had dropped to 76%. I have no doubt that religion being misused by people such as this guy are part of the problem. Well, Mr. Real Friggin' Catholic, it appears you're doing atheism a great favor.